Microtron TV back with another Tales from Active Addiction. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all kinds of different stuff. Active addiction, being locked up, recovery, projects that I'm working on. I've got a couple of projects in the works. But today I'm doing a Tales from Active Addiction video. Basically, I wanted to explain how I got introduced to methamphetamine at such a very young age. I was very young, and in a way, it was gatewayed by marijuana. But don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana. It weirds me out too much. I'm still on probation anyways. I live in North Carolina. But I'm not saying, I'm not downplaying it to the people who do. I'm just telling my story of how it was a direct result from marijuana smoking at a young age that led me to methamphetamine, and I'm going to tell you in this story. So don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell if you like this. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down, talk some shit to me in the comments. It is what it is. I love reading stuff like that. So, the story begins, I think I was 15 or 16. It was summertime between grades. It's been so long ago, I don't remember what grade I was in. I know I was in high school. I want to say freshman, sophomore years. I think it might have been between sophomore and junior, or freshman and sophomore. My best friend at the time was like my little brother. He's actually dead now. He's been dead for going on 10 years. And I still miss him. His name is Zach. He was my little homie. He was my little brother. We were friends from a very young age. But what happened is me and him, his parents were separated, and he would go stay with his dad on the weekends in Hendersonville. Me and him lived in Asheville, North Carolina. So we would go there on weekends, and his dad basically had a trap house before they were even called trap houses. It was a dope house. He would let anybody come there that had dope and would sell the dope. They could do the dope as long as they were giving him some or getting high with him. And obviously it wasn't the ideal place for a teenager to live, but I'm not like, I'm all about, experiencing new things and being stupid. So, at the time I was just smoking weed. I had taken some pain pills, abused some pain pills. I'd done cocaine a couple times. Nothing major. Nothing addictive. I'd done it and set it down and was just steady smoking weed. Well, I had given a mutual friend of mine and Zach's that lived with Zach $50 to get me a bag of weed. So, I was supposed to go back home that night. And, he kept giving me bullshit excuse of why, they're coming later, blah, 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 blah. And he thought I was going to go back home, but I wound up staying there. And apparently he had already copped the meth. I didn't know this at the time. They were doing it, I don't know how long before that. But I guess nighttime come and they got tired of hiding it from me, so they just told me. He came clean with what he did, and he's like, you can do some with this if you want. And I was like, fuck it, I ain't got no weed, so I'm going to do this. And we were smoking it out of a glass light bulb. What we had done was we took a regular glass light bulb, took the guts out of it basically, just left the metal part at the top that goes around the top, and the glass part. Took some salt, poured it in there, and shook it up, and got the fluorescence off, or the white stuff off the glass, and we were smoking it. Smoking meth out of that with like a pin, like a hollowed out pin. And I remember it getting, making me feel really good. Talking all night. We were all just, running our mouths, just constantly talking. And it came time for me to go home the next afternoon. And I was coming down. I was starting to come down. I was feeling like shit. I honestly don't know how my dad didn't notice. He might have and just didn't want to believe that his son was doing stuff like that. But I remember him taking me to Hardee's to get something to eat, and I couldn't eat nothing. And he was like, why on earth do you keep talking through your teeth? I was like, I don't know. I was grating my teeth so bad I couldn't even, ungrind them to talk. I still remember whenever I got home, standing in my parents' driveway, thinking to myself, how on earth does someone get addicted to this drug? I felt terrible. My whole body hurt. I was just miserable. And then later on, I swore it off. I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. I hate this shit. But it wasn't a couple weekends later, the meth was there again, and I did it again, and again, and again. Until finally, you start to realize that if you don't come down, you don't have that bad feeling. So you just keep doing it, and it winds up getting you strung out. Which would lead to me going over there spending all my money on meth every weekend, staying up all weekend, and all I could do is think about Friday, getting to Friday, doing whatever I could do to get money through the week, just so I could go out there and buy meth. And I remember it was probably 3 or 4 months later, one of our mutual friends that was older, I want to say it was 18 or 19, we'll call him D. He was, me and Zach knew that he was shooting up. I'm not sure if Zach had shot up before this. It might have been both of our first time. But, the very first time I shot it, he was doing it. He's like, y'all need to try it like this, being the responsible, adult for the adolescents, Y'all need to shoot up. But, it wasn't just meth. No. We did a shot of meth, cocaine, and Oxycontin, all mixed together. I can't remember how much Oxycontin was in each one. I do remember, though, that it fucked me up. And I do remember that it was the most intense high that I've ever felt in my life, because I didn't have a tolerance to opiates. I had zero tolerance to opiates. All it took was just a little bit, man. And, we had to keep the injection use a secret from everybody. And I remember being in the bathroom and holding my arm so he could shoot me up, and then he would hand me the needle, and Zach would do his, and I just go walking out the bathroom like a zombie, like, stuck, just walking like a robot, and I've got a rig in one hand and a cap in the other, an uncapped syringe in one hand, and I'm about to walk in front of a bunch of people that we cannot let know that we're shooting up. And my other friend comes over there and grabs me real quick. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, don't walk out there like that. I had blood running down my arm, But I was fucked up. And that was the only time that I ever had somebody hit me. After that, I was determined to learn. I did it myself. I got to where people were getting me to hit them. Actually, later on, a couple years later, I was around 18, and I actually got a good bit of dope because I could always hit my dope man, and he would always get me high. Anyways, that's a story for another time. But, that's where my addiction led me to, and how quick it led me to shooting up, to getting strung out, to quitting school, to getting locked up, to just doing all this dumb shit whenever I had so much potential. I don't regret it, because you can't go back and change it. It made me who I am today. I aspire to be able to maybe make a difference in a young person's life, to where, they can actually live their dream because they didn't fuck their life up by getting in trouble while they were on drugs and having a criminal record that follows them everywhere. I can still do certain things, but certain things I can't. So that's basically my life goal now, is just, I would love to be a clinician with adolescents, even though most of them you're not going to get to if you get to that one, and it saves them all the pain, that saves them from going through all the pain where they learn from yours. It would be so worth it. But, that's just an ambition of mine that I will always have, because I wish that somebody had got to me that I actually listened to. I don't know if there was anyone out there that I would have ever listened to, if there could have been somebody that I could have related to, if I would have actually listened to them and changed my ways, or if I just had to learn the hard way. I was obviously hard-headed because I had to learn it several times. Anyways, man, that's my story, how I got introduced to meth, addicted to meth at such a young age. This is Micatron, and this is Micatron TV. And if you like this stuff, y'all don't forget to hit that share button. Share it all over social media. and hit that like and subscribe button. But until next time, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful weekend.